The Frontline with Kwikwanan.
On the front line tonight, my exclusive one-on-one with this distinguished politician who dedicated greater part of his life to student politics. He, however, became the president of the Student Representative Council at the University of Ghana between 1994 and 1996. He later joined the National Democratic Congress and stood as a parliamentary candidate at Ayawaso West Wagon constituency in the year December 2000 general election. Subsequently, he was appointed as the Deputy National Campaign Manager of the National Campaign Coordinator for the presidential campaigns of the National Democratic Congress in 2008 and 2012 respectively. Who is this, my guest? Join me shortly. I am Kwikwanan, and this is The Frontline. Tonight, we're live on dozens of affiliate stations, including our own stations scattered across the regional capitals on Sunyane FM, on 88.1 FM, and of course, we are live in Western Region on Tadi 99.1 FM, and of course, we are also live on the Superhighway, my CTV GH, on Facebook, and of course on YouTube respectively. You can also join me on my exclusive, that's the Frontline Ghana. All these very open space, you can have this program live. Yes, Kwikwanan, your investigative journalist, set and the 4th of March 2024. Maybe Mamo exclusive. Papa. Now, my guest am in Ebeyeduma and Anadri. Oni ebesum and Monday, oni ebesum Wednesday, oni asum Friday. Na Ghana be was folks. Trust me, and inti me ba the make a one and say ye quick in terms of Frewunia be no near being fro be no be fro be what. Together we sit here, we think and talk and make a sense of it all. Enti o Bokwa Tonkrana Frewuniano, o Accra Frewuniano or half a sinino and I say Western region all over. Wa Paga, all of us, and then those watching me in the diaspora, London, United States, Copenhagen, Israel, Tel Aviv, and of course, with me Zuzua Oshem Kwesi Prati Kromo Infam, Azerbaijan, any Kusumukaya or Bebia, Yasuja no Ewo, with me program. Shannon, so tonight, a exclusive, but of course, me the Ghana Speaks Ebro and Chekrana. Ghana Speaks, you know, a born masha, papa. Of course, in Simbi Trichegua, everyone, and ye before my guests come in. And of course, tonight, WhatsApp messages would be fine for 020-297-3461. WhatsApp line, me pacho memfre. A WhatsApp 020-297-3461. You back in kind messages in the WhatsApp line 020-297-3461. I'm making kanina Eddie amount. Of course, the man is already seated beside me, and then maybe Ghana Speaks. He will join me pretty shortly. Now, folks, ye na yenim say ensembi twitwa egu na ye behwe mu kakra. And then Bruni say up next, Ghana Speaks, in tonight we zero down to the developing story of LGBTQ stories amati shortly after passage into law at the NDC. Now, last week I titled some portion of my Ghana Speaks as what? Liberation from psychological warfare tendencies. Last week, minimum anantinya last week, last 2 weeks or so. As someone may catch Ghana for and say, this topic was carefully chosen for the reason being said, a kwanya sa white supremacy, edia afaso ewe bipi memu iranom bonia womu die diyen womu sisi yaso woma se niema bebre kwanya wono ba ebe fire nom no mu wia yen edia ekọ esre asase ne so. Now, tonight we are going that same direction. But before, let me bring to light and remind you again that they first brought to you what you call religion called Christianity, followed by democracy, which has divided us into different shades of opinion and more acrimonious. Third, they want to make way for their yet another roadmap called moral decadence of LGBTQ, which is catching up fast with our youth through the usage of their technology called the social media. Me catch no shasienu me say one more ba no ma be fire no mu no. One with the special purpose vehicle be a buy called Christianity. I told you I am not against Christianity, but the facts still remain. You know, it's as though Christianity has, continued to pose existential threat to mankind. However, who could read the history and now study eschatology and so on, then you would appreciate the fact that Christianity people were beaten, maimed in order to accept Christianity. Why? Now, one more back rolling to the corridors of Africa 15 centuries ago with their sea safaris, religion then became the slave trade, transported millions of Africans for cotton and plantain cultivations. One more and until and if you one more sign added democracy dura Africa. So my catcher said until Africa would own her narrative, trust me, this is going to be a tall order. So if Africans through AU, through ECOWAS, through whatever, if we don't own our narrative to that of how we want to build our democracy, trust me, folks, these white supremacists will continue to dictate the order. Now, one more real democracy in Africa, it has made us rather more divided. Politics of divisiveness, politics of setbacks, roadblocks, booby trap, acrimony, and you may be brave. Nature is saying, Obi betimia ye, or NDC no betimia ye, or NPP no betimia, or CPP. Now, so we still can't see eye to eye on that direction, folks. Ghana ko passe LGBTQ plus ikahon passe ya. America for money ya, hey. United Nations for money ya, hey. Na aden ena amayamaya hodoa ewo Africa memuno ye passe ye ne de manye dede wo ho. Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and many parts of Africa ya passe yo aden ena manye dede wo ho. Na Ghana nko ade. When we say the ohia ebesi aye me no mienu ya brabo. Ama some politicians ye di tumi asho monsa consolidated fund ne kan sika gum yese mo de anya hwekura mo nibi na mo fa bi nya adwuma there be ene I am hearing say the finance ministry one ma trokrata e de akomo man penin say mo financial answer now President Akufo-Addo wo pa try na hwe. I swear to God, something unprecedented BC or Ghana on this LGBTQ. No. Look at the rate. Now, say me boy, let's all go back and trace history. What Christianity? Aye Africa mine. Me be yin for nini biatremo. Yemra ni emeshe democracy. Socrates catch them. Now no me kind. Socrates has ever defined that democracy will not survive. Nene yeka say. American democracy is 246 years. Still, America for me who no. No, so I mean, you see democracy be over. When you go for born, you are saying, democracy be a year more. Now, when I me be say, "Mami ayoko botre hini na obutuo." Well, ayoko botre should come out and tell the truth. Ghana Funtias Mamide should come and tell the truth that diplomats and ambassadors who enter Ghana and their spouses sometimes are men were all given residential permits to live in Ghana. Now, the American say Mame Ayoko Botwe together with the Ministry of Interior should come out and deny this. Assembly Nane say some of these foreign diplomats and ambassadors are one mura Ghana hana. Bebre one mu yire nom oye bema na oba ya. Yesusu se ne yire eso oye oba nya sa. Ubekwa akwhwe na ne yire e bema. Yes. Na de ehuni se ne yire na oye Australian ambassador ne yire ne ehwan ya. Ghana for go and check. Now, say Obana Oba, even though or ambassador and also a diplomat, and by law, no diplomatic, say, see a man a residential permit. Now, your man a permit new year. no or say on one casanson near a see a man permit young question near Bama. Now here is confusion air course within the diplomatic circle say and then that's an year no your money fence saying a year permitter and the didn't see our government of Ghana mo pesa mo chere say mo pesa mo be ma kwama nipa bi nyom ho fa ho de because into corner air course within the diplomatic circles. Now what they are saying is that you've given me a residential permit one moment statement ben and the Minister of Foreign Affairs one more edia betuga why quiet na mehu because come say me chiri Christo sumu but ne kura no meka kire Ghana for akwebia sending some useless message be can kwasi aksem bi gua and ekwana Ghana is already cursed so stop telling Ghanaians the truth in them say you claim you know yet you are swimming in your own pool of ignorance what when I need people who can think we together sit to think and Democrats seem incapable to reverse the trend every period biano you who IMF for and you think we are stupid. One window, as someone catch the United Nations catch Ghana. The Ministry of Finance are you bold enough to tell Ghanaians, say President Akufo-Addo don't pass the bill or say don't assent to the bill. And that who assented to the bill all these billions of sika ebre Emrano NPP mona mo pass it will be first in our history for a government in power controlled by the majority in the legislative house to pass a bill into law and the president says I'll not assent to the bill. It has to happen Christos on the high frequency the Christianity rather affected us so much and so endemic. And I'm going to show you yet another horrific means which Christianity was presented to us. But before no mami picture in chiro omedi Christianity bro no bo hu say dey bia na yesi ye fundraising hwe dey da so screen so or say some churches fundraising be like then wo hu nipa ye chinimu anka say gu ho yesi ye fundraising. This is what Christianity is doing to us. Now ufriwa mami another video in chiro na hwe kwan a Christianity na didi emu to the extent say afidie bibini na sem na ne say the only way obetimi ya de akwetia bonsamo abroni by or present man he came a white man rode to the corridors of Africa, introduced Christianity to us, a God who looks like him, not like you and I, a Satan who looks like you and I with a horn and a tail, sick people, sick Jamaican Indian descent to Shenyanse where when he trimly said do bet me abe catcher I say bonne say yemo ya humodne na mrano e wo parliament yantungu niema kwame mema eni mema to a man tafreta from ayarefo sick people and you have your intellectuals sitting in parliament nani na mibisa no how many top government officials womusha Akufo-Addo office Mika say women sisi brothels in the central business district in Accra. Koshe enkrafono mugu no enkwala wonu mo engage in sad way. Sam Jordan has done well as a native of the Ghans. Koshe when penibe no president office wa onu we si brothel dwuma mu di e wo Accra ho no eye say nkura efufa fofo mo ho sa gay lesbians. And you think it's a joke. Now on the Christianity, shekwan wo mechim yadwene ma yadwene aye say afi ye yadane den abodamfo. Take a lesson. Watch this and make a sense of it. This is Christianity for you. Take a lesson.
Yeah.
within. When you are the devil you don't see, no. I feed the nkotokuro ne nsrada na mudigwa saw them. This is how I am a wadrini adame. Now watch. A self-styled acclaimed man of God is out there disclosing the secrets behind his riches and how you can also be rich. Also for penny, I feel watch that kwanya or fast sika. But in the name of God, oh, Christianity no, kwanya or fast sika. Na all say a tre enipa nso a yetwa ne ho ehia no so kwanya yense be fast we benyiska. Take a listen to him.
Asemi nyina no. Enti no sika wo be hunu de brother. Bibie no beti sika uncountable. Sika boko washroom o simple ne gu se shaw. Ye yeso be di amambre no so. Ye yeso de bi enkolan to moja. E bi a 3 months ana fresh baby 2 weeks baby. Try never trebra. What the ben one ye papemfo. Ye give say yesu no beba. But the other ka kono be ya go ya. Onya mai. Na yeso ko do 180 no bi. Na wa ma e bi still say I was here to ye chine. Oh, chine na kan ne dama ya se me. Me kasi kan me kan. I was so tell bi na chine. Yeso to ka ni bi. Yeso fie ni bi. So go bit ma sun yi. That's the issue. Because now when you are watching that better say me can yesu we be wanja wako no my.
Folks, Ghana speaks now na menimu jinemu no. Na me bo boni te amamo. Then my guest comes in. Now, young quite bit into politics kakra last week. The president Adodankwa Akufo-Addo delivered the State of the Nation address. Ghanaians, including civil society groups, were anticipating to hear the president's roadmap toward eradicating corruption. Yet, nothing was heard. Now, tonight, the front line are presented to the president if he can go along with the Singapore chapter. Bebre anti-corruption in Zemu. But tonight, as part of exposing politics of lies, deception, and all of that, Ubeka said, Singapore, for the internet is saying, can Ghana adopt this chapter way? Take a listen to this.
If you want to, in a sense, eliminate corruption in a society, and we all want to eliminate corruption in a society, the most effective way to do it is to make sure you don't punish people at the bottom, you punish people at the top. I'll tell you one story. In the 1960s, when Singapore was a very poor country then, our per capita income was 500. A government minister was invited by a businessman to go on holiday. Just on holiday, no bride. He and his family went on holiday with the businessman. He came back, he was arrested, charged, went to jail. After that, no more corruption. Because it's a very powerful signal that is sent when you go after someone at the top. So Singapore's experience, and it's actually quite remarkable how you have almost zero corruption in Singapore, is because we decided that the example must come from the top.
Sadly, you bet me introduce Ghana Hanam. That is the Singapore chapter. Meaning, say, Obi a corrupter, you punish the people from the top. Into ministers needing some money, what do you do? Now, quickly, at Ghana's parliament, whilst the president was delivering his speech, some Ghanaians were also outside Ghana's parliament waiting to speak to the president. And the question is, did they see the president before and so move free wana? They were so much angry. Who are these people? Take a listen to this.
And also, man, said, "Dear job, I'm about me. I need chance."
That's what we say. What we say, what you the good for we say Ghana for Jimmy. Or no, na say Ghana for ye nipa. The good for the contract is yes. One jump on ye to Ghana for ye nipa. And good for on tap for yes.
What is the Ghana area?
Enya sa ko bo ma yima. Asofofo wa ha. uphold the principles of Namisom, say young kind of credit, and I'm a one. And I go for some kind of credit. Not as I have in the common, but or young of near the diner, the Ninian class, or chamber, I'll be not here. I'm not. Now come and say, so my way, Nipa, Elgum, and as a forward, a some kind of prayer, a doctor says, sorry, kind of prayer, engineers, the kind of prayer, you can go for the contract for you. Instead of them to uphold the patriotism, they swear an oath to protect, David, your medicine. And yet, your medicine, now, police on the go, we not say, a woman give you Mukrano, and that's a get to put you. This is the rule state of pies. To me, no pipe for God. This is the rule state of the nation. To me, no pipe. That pine, basta. You, let's be honest and sincere to yourself. What do you people put here? And some, and I am very ashamed first to vote for this failure. Chairman, a quite Bakupa and I do yellow Comian Accra, Flower, Bakupo to be here. That's what you're trying to say. Second, airport and oil, I would do airport in your friends. But the other 2 thousand passion process. I was so high. And now, that you can't do it. But say, what Lumbaria, and I Chairman, and here's fun. Maybe you'll see a couple of yourself. Ghana for demo. So your police, we are Ghana. We are soldiers, we are Ghana. Me and the Tifia, we are Ghana. Who's up to one as we are graduate? PhD holder, we are Ghana. Then beside you, say, Ghana, no, yeah, papa, and I am but see a penny, we come and sit here, having high profile people at the Tanaha, over for school. We expect them to have knowledge and be thinking for the ordinary woman. I'll talk your talk. Where will you? Messi, oh, but there's one kind of threat. These are the one kind of threat. We are showing you the real things in the country. The one time, how do you feel that that was good. Chief, Diana, Simon, right? And a son, not Coponit now, Constable Phony, will be up on the 9 PM IDP. Yeah, go. Me maame yare da dem me neska trade woman me ba yare me neska ko no press me be the post me neska bitia me kasa me sika na dem amoso me na so me lo mi kume sa police ni nurse ni so be so ne de so
ebusia for enya de emu yemresa. You see, the temperature of the country is getting high and higher. Now, Shade, the president said his enviable school feeding, free education, and then school feeding is doing well, Papa, and they need to enhance it and push it on. Question remain. There be assessment then a president or before the State of the Nation address, because maybe info the biachro. Juxtapose that of what the president said and that of what you're about to watch and make a sense of it all. Is he on the right path? Who spoke to the president and made assessment before this speech? Listen to this.
Yeah, Ghana mpanifo. Ya kana yese ya bwa ye youth na ya kasa na ya bwa. Hwe school pa enkwalatim. School hwe omwakonya ni o. Enkonya enkwalatim hu ni a mo de ko school hwe. Ade a mo ko nsu ogum a mo no mo school mo hwe. Eno ani o Ghana mpanifo. School e wo STK, which is Solar Tuna Kalba district. Your friend had Pivro school in your school and Yinipao school and you have and a PTA meeting. Well, I mean, of course, I'm quite another class. Ghana penny for it's your home Madachi saying, Unclaw your head Dachi or Modachi passing in Clavi say, Unconya, just one made them cry, Unclaw who made actually. Unclaw who made actually. O made them park school. School, and ya growing AD. Make another class. What you class ni nasi. Sa class na me kano or pieces no. Pieces class na medical room no. Sisi abisabe room P5. Maybe room. Yeah, another class. Shankwala mugua. Ye Ghana emobo. Shankwala. hwe nkwala pa mu gu nkonya hu se nkonya blocks nkonya Ghana mpanyifo NPP NDC blocks na nkonya o aso hwe ye was akukudam amwo oman mu ha nkwala nkonya te ho sometimes me ka o ma ayimu ana ebi mu say politics na me enya politics o me nya politics hwe nkwala we omoda achi ye hwe ni se ni ha nkwala titi konya ayiwe na o me de nkwala atwere o me ento mu di chicha ni bia ba na chicha na adwane ayiche so mu akukuduro ne etimbe kira de wa ha o mobo ba o man pay for in fact STK ye critics are district we anyini ye anso hwe enyini da o muntimi ntonkonya ntimpanyifo ni saa ye friends district mu amu school de ekodi o ya me ko ba bia IPTA meeting for no me ko twakra o me nkasa nkonya mo to ye bench o mo di fufue ene baaye school office me be office me school office yeah office new no door school no office no door bia ni funu bia na no mawura door.
Folks, on say me can't say major say Ghana speaks say me be born a mashup. Now me ye last video actually then my guest come in. At the latter part of the president's address, he told Ghanaians something. He doesn't drink. Or say, I don't know, but try to make a sense of this. What does this actually mean? If actually is the president in something, or what is it about? The president to have, made that statement in that State of the Nation address. Watch this. Anyway, I'll take the president's word for as it is, but as to say, this is what I don't know. But at least we try to do what you call the fact-checking to know if all about what the president is saying is really the fact. Folks, this is Ghana Speaks, of course, coming to you live from this very studio here. I am Kwekwanen. Stick and stay. I'll be right back.
With Kwekwanen.
Great, folks. Welcome back. And of course, just gone past is Ghana Speaks, and we've walked one leg of the journey, making approximately 38 minutes gone past the hour 8. I am Kwekwanen, your investigative journalist, and tonight I'm here with my guest. And of course, he need no much introduction. Be a Ghana for winning. He's a big guy. Big man. He's a big man now, currently. A lot says Elvis look like former and late Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. I don't know what you make of, but you can also bring your message now. You said those guests in that space of could actually get it right. But of course, tonight we're going to speak on, quite a number of issues. I have 3 segments to run with Elvis Afriyie, a man of many parts, many parts, and too many educational credentials. I don't know whether he belongs to the Rassmatals and the bourgeoisisms and whatnot. Minimu until some they get mad. Hey, Akwawe. Elvis Afriyie, bro. Great. Yes, it's my big man. And myself and Elvis, in the political circles. Obi I say you are trying to enter the gallery or the corridors of NDC. And I'm so sure. And they were running this campaign. Oh, Kweku once on the NPP, Fiona Kwe say now he's trying to make his way in NDC. Me Kweku. Really? Unim Elvis Afriyie. Well, and now Elvis, I don't know if I should give a bit of background of Elvis. He's the former Minister for Youth and Sports in Ghana, of course. A mother hail from Atiavi near Keta, Atiavi in the Volta region. And so, Penina Oka said, Mimi's Elvis said, what's Elvis doing? Or your Voltairean and also dear no T Ubenya answers in from here, Volta region. And then his father comes from Ahinema Kokopain in the Ashanti region. He attended Equiapim Secondary School, graduated in 1984 with a GCE O level. He attended University of Ghana, graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Drama and Linguistics in 1996. He was also a postgraduate student at the same university, obtained a Master of Arts degree in International Affairs from the Legon Center for International Affairs in 2002. Great guy. And he's a graduate of the Institute of Journalism. He's also a Institute of Journalism, where he obtained a certificate in public relations, marketing, advertising in the year 1998. Following his first degree, he became the Executive Coordinating Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students from May 1996 to October 1997, from August 2005 to December 2008. And he was a lecturer and the head of the English and Communication Studies Department at the University of Professional Studies, Accra. A lot. Elvis Afriyie involved in student politics, where he served as the president of the Student Representative Council at the University of Legon between 1994-1996, respectively. Of course, he joined the National Democratic Congress and stood as a parliamentary candidate at Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. December 2000, he introduced Wena. So now he was also the Deputy National Campaign Manager and the National Campaign Coordinating for the presidential campaigns of the National Democratic Congress in 2008 and 2012, respectively. In March 2009, he was appointed a Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development by the late President Mills. He continued in his capacity until the demise of the late President Mills. In February 2013, he was appointed Minister for Youth and Sports by former President John Dramani Mahama. In July 2014, he became a Minister of State at the Office of the President. Between the Monday, Wednesday, ignorantly. Let me accept that blame and issue my apology to him. In the sense that oh, Elvis, Chale, hey, he's a member of the fraternity of Chale and spare Elvis. All that we're saying is, I'm Elvis Akwa, I'm a coconut back, coconut could be. You see, Elvis Akwa $100. They imagine the sports journalist fraternity, no, Kwaya ye super array. But you know what? Until say me obtaining, I have intercepted Elvis. Let me tell you, I've intercepted 150 page reporter oba Ghana no ye Troy efa ne ho. And Ghana for munim. And the cribie PO. I have been privileged that my interceptors are reporting based on the report I read with the production team, and he inviting someone and interrogating when you meet him. And Elvis would explain A to Z whether Otokubeno $100 are now $1. Again, I know say even until say me research, say even Ghana football at the apex of the national team there is what you call politics. Folks, nye joke. Or might not say you, but when you're careful, you are caught in the crossfire and then you are dealt with, finished. But he's a tough guy, very strong. I've known Elvis for years. But in that discussion, many Elvis Afriyie, the NDC events, National Secretary contest now, a course, of course, Nipa mo contest here, Honorable Fifi Kwete, Ekambi, Dr. Buama Otukono, and a one say Elvis Afriyie, and you bet discuss it, and then we also look at just gone past Sonano, and then we'll look at vis-a-vis maybe election 2024 and all that you make of it. Now, Elvis, sir, general election way, and as a national secretary election, of course, we NDC. What do you make of it? How did it go? In the first place, why do you wanted to contest that position?
First of all, election is election. And I'm a deputy general secretary of the party. And I was in charge of operations 2008, and I win here. And at 2012, Professor Samuel's Enyane Baby Koye. 3-man campaign. I'm a campaign coordinator, and 2016 I wasn't really involved with the campaign. Never be break also. Until 2020, no, I'm a Jimpa Law School.
Okay.
And I'm penny for starting some of friends. I remember boy. Until me buy and me be director of elections. And I'll come to that. Until director of elections now me here, you know. Abana yeto, you know. From where I sit, you know, we won 142 seats. Yes. NPP 40 to trust them ekum nipa motre. And I'm 5 of the seats, never car 137.
Yeah.
Presidential no, so now was here second round. I have all the figures. And Madam Jim Mensah on some changing announcements, different figures. And then even as director of elections, no, and Nema be brief Koswa, na as a mere powerless. So, for example, me draw me program, be a 16-month program. You call retreat or Tamale, any draw a program. Say from that September now to December of the following year. No, these are the things here. Be I mean, who said after 1 year, no now.
As a director of operations.
Elections,
sorry.
Na the problem is Kamia say Bibiano na everybody is expecting the flag bearer. Flag bearer has to provide vehicles for the party, flag bearer has to provide this, flag bearer has to provide this. And if flag bearer doesn't move, nothing happens.
I didn't see a basa.
Well, these are all structural challenges, you know. And yes, I know. And I mean, how I just say things that we could have done. Just the victory was there, but it slipped out of our hands. Exactly. And I'm saying no. Then I have to go in there. My deputy general secretary, my manager, I was in charge of operations for that election, 2008, and there's a lot that happened that we can't even say. And at 2012, so I was the campaign coordinator. So if I become, in our party constitution, general secretary, you know, the chief executive of the party, it is seen Tona Mihu, you know. If I'm there, I'll be able to deal with it. So that was the main reason why I went into the contest. Now, let me just put on record, sir. Contest now, I'm call, you know, men winning. But the purpose in here, I'm calling, say, we should win 2024 at all costs. Then you see 2020, it should not happen again. That purpose has not changed.
So then it will be like a compensating the situation I lost.
So even though I have not won, it has not changed that reason, motive, and conviction. I mean, was 2024 is a must win for the NDC. We must win it. That is why I've congratulated my other colleagues now, and they are all my friends. I mean, if you setting the record straight, if you talk about setting the record straight, me Ono, Haruna, Baba Jamal, Lawyer Inusa, you know, John Adams, and you know, we the young people, we set it up. So we've worked very, very closely together, And to date, as I speak to you, I'm working with them. Dr. Maneboama, in 2008, he was in my office. He was working in my office. You understand me? As in charge of operations. And we worked very, very closely together. I am working closely with all of them. I collaborate with them. We share ideas. We share information. You know, just only last week here, I went to Kumasi to go and train party executives. So next week, I'm going to another region. So I am fully committed to that. But I think it's important at this stage to, you know, set a few records straight. Because my weakness back on is I'm party some, but no so a big disadvantage for me because I think some people take advantage of that. No more cancer, no more yenema. At the first issue, I affected me during the campaign. Almost a quality resource. And so I was responsible for that. And it was used, I mean, extensively by people who know that it wasn't true. Now, what happened is after the 2016 loss, the party went to Congress. And Congress took a decision, say, we should separate the election directorate from the IT directorate. So I was in charge of the election directorate. The election directorate, our job is to identify, recruit, train, sensitize, and deploy polling agents on the election day. That was our job. Now, yes, we are. After the polling agents have done their job, fill the forms, then they hand over to the IT directorate. Now, the IT directorate was independent from the election directorate. Budget, recruitment, processes. They have a national IT director, regional IT director, constituency. Their processes, it is completely independent from the election directorate. No, in fact, it took a lot for us to even meet to look at their processes and their systems near there. So I was not in charge of IT. The IT's job was to do the collation and transmission of resource. Now, what happened in 2020, they said, IT, they did a good job. They put the systems in place on the day so that we were supposed to get the resource in real time as resource never now. By 10:30 p.m., the system became slow. And the way we were expecting to get the results, we were not getting
on that record time.
Yes. So what happened was that because the election directorate, has people who've been doing this over the years, and there were a lot of skilled people. The Sakites, my Amate, my deputy, very sharp guys. So we quickly activated the manual system, which is across the region, across the constituencies. So the agents are here training on money. We quickly activated it, and then they started sending us the results manually. So we, together with the IT directorate, now sat down and compile the results manually. So secondly, if anybody says so we did not compile our results, it's not true.
Because that rumor is still there.
The person doesn't know what he's talking about.
And you challenge it tonight.
I'm giving you facts. We compiled it. Now, if you say we did not get the results the time we expected, we projected between 6 to 9 hours. You are right, okay? Because the system slowed down. But to say that we did not collate our results, if we did not collate our results, how then did we know we won 137 seats or 142 seats and 5 were stolen? How did we know? What I say? So we collated the results, but it did not come in record time the way we had wanted it to. So we got our results. Then when we got the results, we realized that there were a lot of discrepancies. So then we now called for a pink sheet audit. So we mobilized all the pink sheets across the country. And there were different teams. One team was led by Sami Jemfi, another team was led by Valerie Soya, there was another team led by Prosper Wetu, another team led by Larry Bevlo. So we looked at all the pink sheets. And I am putting it on record. For the first time in the history of our party, we had 99.7% of all the pink sheets. It's never happened before.
I have to repeat this.
May say, for the first time in the history of our party, we had 99.7% of all the pink sheets. It's never happened. Even the Electoral Commission. Now, if you go and take Frederick Ebert, every election, report. In that report, they capture the election results. You will see, sir, since 1992, the Electoral Commission has never had even 95% of their pink sheets.
Then what happened?
So we have 99.7. Now, even the 0.3, no, later we discovered, say, because what happens is that we write to the constituency, we've checked, and we can't find this and that pink sheet. Then they'll tell you, no, we sent it. So it's probably mixed up with the parliamentary. You go and check the parliamentary and it's mixed up. Hey. So we digitized, as I'm talking to you now, my administration, when I was the election director, we have digitized all the results. From every single branch. So again, this business about pink sheets were missing, or pink sheets were stolen, or pink sheets were stolen, it's complete rubbish, complete fabrication. It didn't happen. We have everything. Now, the third dimension of this, they say, okay, so we didn't go to court with our pink sheets because we didn't have our results. Our job was to put the results together and give it to the legal team. I spent only 1 month in Jimpa Law School, and I had to defer to come and do this work. I sacrificed my education.
You stopped?
Yes, I stopped. Because when I started the work, first few weeks, we call a few IPAC meetings. Now, I said, no, James on a full-time problem. So you have full-time attention. You cannot do that work half-heartedly.
Like, seriously?
Yes. You can check. I stopped Jimpa Law School. The records are there. And by the grace of God, the lecturers will tell you what kind of student I was. Just to ensure that our party wins power. So that again, when we finish, then our job was now to hand it over to the legal team. And these are lawyers of repute. What I say, they looked at all the issues and they said, we are not going to court again based on results. We are going to court on the infractions of the EC itself. The way they announce the result 3 times near the basis ben or the first results. Who say a mistake? Mistake, did he consult the other parties? On what basis did he make the second change? And that one too, there was a mistake. On for pink sheets, it
makes sense.
So that was the strategy by the legal team. That was not my decision. It was not because we did not have the results. No, it's not true. It's not correct. That's what I said. But all these things, were used against me. And because I was also the one who was seen, people had not really understood, say, there was a difference between the elections and the IT directorate. All they knew was...
boxing in at your doorstep.
Yes, election director, one collected results. And, of course, my opponents were using it in the campaign. Election director, one collected results. I mean, And there's another dimension of it. For me to be able to even answer properly, I would be compelled to show the underbelly of my party. When you are communicating publicly, you should know your opponents are paying attention.
Exactly.
So there are things you cannot talk about. So I tried to explain, but I was constrained. For example, I told you I did a 16-month program. After 1 year, we hadn't done anything. And time was going. So we went back to Dodowa. And then we compressed that 16-month program into a 4-month program. 4 months, so half of it, happened here. So I became desperate. Do you know?
And where the strings were being pulled, or do you suspect some strings were being pulled?
Well, I like sticking to facts. As the conversation goes on, there are things that I will tell you with authority. That this one, I know people did it deliberately.
Because then
this one, I am telling you the facts. I don't have any evidence that somebody was pulling anything. What I know, they say, there was so much pressure. Everybody was looking at one direction for resources to come. So I also didn't sit down. Because if you have a 16-month, 7 exams, we say over lectures for 14 months. We are studying exam. Now 1 year between now and year. What do you do? So what I then did was, okay, by the time the resources will come now, the time will be so compressed. So we need to have a different strategy. So usually we train about 100 trainers because you have a longer period. No more training. But because the time was shorter, then I raised money. I fell on an allergy. And took him to the flag. I said, we have a crisis. So, Alaji, you have to help us. This is our budget. Now, I don't want you to take the money from you quietly. Now, tomorrow, you can say, 1 million. So, this is our budget. Let's go hand over the money, and it will be handed over to me. Then I use that to train, instead of 100 people, we train about 400 trainers.
Quite significant.
Yeah. So when eventually the money came, which I cannot state when it came, it was quite short. We managed to deploy people to every...
But at least we succeeded in mobilizing them.
And we train, yes, and we train people. Each polling station be a minimum of 4. Multiply that by 38,600 polling stations. So you're saying,
quite huge, though.
Huge. Across the country. Within a very short period, we trained all of them and deployed them. So how then? So it's not fair to me. And I thought that, no, when I get the opportunity, I must let people know. Because you cannot keep on taking blame. And you see, the danger is that if that becomes a supposition and we don't speak the truth, and then we go into another election based on that assumption, false, we might make the same mistakes. So it's important that we clarify the issues. Now, fortunately, when we wrote our report, we recommended to the party, say, the major reason we had those challenges was because the IT and the election directorate were separated. So let's go back, let's put the IT and the election directorate together. Unfortunately, the party has accepted that recommendation.
This time around.
That is why Dr. Omane Boama is now the director of elections and IT. So he can have oversight on both the elections directorate and the IT directorate. In my case, I was election director. 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, they finished. My people finished, handed over to the IT. I had no more control.
People could now go so personal, and I don't know then what has become.
So I'm just using the we as an example, but some of the things later on, then I found out that these were the things that were going on. That me and Chairman Ofosu Ampofo had sold the party to the NPP.
It was something else, eh?
Can you imagine that?
Elvis Afriyie.
I mean, you know, I was flummoxed. Like, how can anybody even think that about me? How is that possible? You know, the sacrifices we've done for this party since we got involved.
And these rumors would travel so fast like a Hamatan fire.
It was going. You know, why? What was the basis? Absolutely baseless. Ebenezer, Madam, would be a NPP businessman. Hello.
Hi.
So what about those who are siblings? One NPP, one in NDC.
Exactly.
So because of that, they will sell the party?
No.
And even that friend of mine, we are not as close as we used to be because we are always arguing. In any case, who tells you that the rich businessmen, if they are your friends, they give you money?
No.
The reason why they remain my friends is because I don't go to them for money. If you have rich friends, and this is free advice to people, rich friends, don't be going to them for money. They'll get tired of you. You lose their respect. So all these things were going on, and I didn't know. It was later that I got to know. You know, and it was, for me, that was like, I mean, how?
It was a huge blow,
because, bro, Nipa sacrificed you. Since we got involved, me, I don't know how to do things half and half. So I say, when I'm doing something, I give it my all. My time, my energy, you know. Penny didn't come on. I just say, look, man, people can pretend to be campaigning or supporting you. Everybody can do it. But there are some things you cannot pretend about. Now I'm saying, you're near the power. Me, apart from all that I do publicly, that you see for the party, behind the scenes, the things that I do, I can't even talk about half of them. And the leaders of the party, they know. I can't talk about half of them. I just give you just one, the spiritual dimension. Every election year, I mobilize pastors. And when I talk about, I have an issue with that. You see, you shouldn't generalize. What the videos were showing were wrong, complete. That's not Christianity. That's complete rubbish. You understand me? But it's important to situate it that there are good pastors, good preachers doing the good work. But these characters, they are bringing the name of Christianity down. Because I'm a Christian. So I know very good. Out of every 1,000 pastors, you get 10 that are bad. They are not all bad. Anyway, back to the issue. I mobilize pastors
men of God
and prayer warriors. And I've been doing this since Prof's time, my own volition. It was only in 2016 that I was in Flagstaff House. So, you know, and I played 9,000 a week, every Friday.
Of that night?
Yes. So multiply by 4 weeks. Continuously, sir, for about a year. Apart from other things. So if you do all these things, you know, and then me, myself, I put my stomach down. I broke my fast, 70-day fast on the 10th of that somebody could do so. And then, of course, the money on the D-Day, I lost the election the night before and the day of the election. Because in all the polls, everything I was leading. But then on the D-Day, you see, I felt said,
money exchange hands somehow.
I felt to say, for example, Northern Ghana. Okay. I mean, my PA is here, he will tell you. When I was in office, especially local government, you know, when you show...
You've done a lot of work there,
you know,
so...
oh, no, we there will vote for you, but our people, you know. So that also happened on the D-Day, but it's a blessing in disguise.
Yep.
Me, my life, I've observed that anytime I'm looking for something and I don't get it, God uses that to move me to the next level. And that is how come today I have a fellowship that covers 8 countries by the grace of God. What I say, if it hadn't been for that, and
8 fellowship,
a fellowship that covers 8 countries, Center for Global Africa at the Delaware State University. They give me a fellowship. We are looking at the impact of monetization of elections.
I've seen
in
all
Africa.
those credentials. So huge.
And it covers Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Lesotho, Botswana, and Swaziland.
Hello. Yeah. And Elvis, just Uka say we'll get out of Ghanaian politics, cry. You survive beyond rent.
So the problem was when the fellowship came, we had to negotiate because they wanted me to actually relocate. Now I'm saying there's no way I'm going to relocate. I will not. Yeah. So we negotiated. I'll be based here. Once a while, I step out of town. 1 week, now I'm going I charge 10 days. I've never stepped out more than 10 days before. Because I want, whatever it is, Ghana is my home. I've invested my life, my time, my energy into this political enterprise. So, Omani is in a mess, and we'll come to that. So, if NDC doesn't win, I am convinced that Ghana has no future. Ghana will become a basket case. We're already a basket case anyway, and it's going to get worse. So, I'm very clear in my mind. The action is here. Occasionally, I'll go do my stuff and come.
Great. The action is here. My guest tonight, Elvis Afriyie Ankrah, of course, a man that has held several positions in the National Democratic Congress, one time a deputy minister, local government, and again became, you know, full portfolio minister, former minister for youth and sports. All issues in the coming days as we panders. Now, until recently, Albert contested national secretary position, and it's the fallout of it, the PP by. Personally, I heard a lot. Elvis is a brother. Trust me. Players be breeding, and Ghana Fubinim. I quite remember, if Elvis will remember those days, Choice FM. Or any debate. Fifi Kwete, what's the name of this guy? John Boedus, the Mustafa Hamed, all these guys. You see, that's the time where politics in Ghana was growing. And some of us were part of this. Yet, Yanko mainstream politics, and you'd be rare. You're not it was therefore reason I'm a Elvis by and say no. Because at a point, the snippets of information are echo runners. Some could be very disturbing. I have been there before. Adia, wunye. Near this show concert, chinchina no on my way. The rumor mill and travels much faster than anything. And I said, Elvis, I beg, bro, Brani Ninko, I'm ready to come. We show you some quality. I'll come and break all this silence. Folks, since I'm not water, no, and you're just making no. The idea to tono so enya ne kure na ebia make us okana nutum for a while, but time na so say oyiyi ensem ni bia no. And then especially on the front line of the NDC, no, any time from now 10 months to come, NDC could face the same battle. Question remain: how would the NDC would have to process all of these fallouts and then gear up, catch power? Any people who are part in moi. When we did former President John Mahama, Ye we are near the abesho be so be no one ye to me. But you see, your massa, your politics need it to me get it so dirty because somebody want certain position or sacrifice it. Now, back to Elvis. But of course, tonight you are hearing this program, and as I watch it, our CTV has a program also air live across all many channels. O call my CTV, GH, our YouTube, and now my CTV, our Facebook, Ubenye Biashe. Make us say in Sunyane, Ubenya, our Sunyane, Ubenyano, our 88.1 FM in Sunyane live. Ubesienya Western region on 99.1 FM, Tadi FM, and then social media, no Facebook, YouTube, my CTV, GH, Ubenyani Nashe, of course, BBR did not come, folks, and Chemeba Elvis. So, but Shannon said, WhatsApp messages, so what the befa 020-297-3461 WhatsApp line 020-297-3461. Of course, tonight, my main chair in Penivue, Equia Kunedu Yadom, or China Ayo birthday. Hooray. And then a new person be our share program we you just became partner to the show, Tracy Spark. Tracy, salute you, papa. And then the chief executive officer of Hineba Media, Muina Moshe program we tonight in the giving thumbs up to Elvis. Now, my memory Elvis is now. Elvis should zero down to just ended sooner. State of the Nation's address. The president, His Excellency Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, has spoken a lot. And I want Elvis to process it. And he may be an NPP from near there, but I don't know where Elvis will start from. Elvis, take off your bias lenses and speak to my camera. Mr. President said X, Y, Z. Good to go, bad to go. Which one?
Well, first of all, no, President Nekasano, I was really watching him. So,
eyeball, eh?
Yes, I was watching him. Now, me share the body language, and in the posturing, and in the attitude, the demeanor, and the way I know kono. Near NPP for the years to say no. A deliberate communication strategy be adopted. So they will ignore the facts.
Yeah.
They ignore the reality, and then create an alternative reality and narrative. And continue to push it and push it and push it and push it down the throats of Ghanaians. With the hope, say, Ghanaians are so gullible, say, they will just buy in those falsehoods, irrespective of the facts. Because I study a lot of presidents, both local and international.
Good.
And usually, you know, say, on minor crisis, every president be about the tone, the body language, or admit it, say, there are issues, there are challenges, or show sympathy, or show empathy. And then from there, no issues, no, baby, a war, and in your more. But we know it's like we were in a different world altogether. So that was my first observation.
Alice in Wonderland.
That was my first observation. Said we need to watch these people very carefully because one was our the main color near black. So what I said.
Yeah.
Okay, atadi black. Dark grey.
Suspicion.
Me say dark grey.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
Different narrative.
And all of them will keep on saying, say dark grey, dark grey, dark grey. To the extent, so if you are not careful, you yourself begin to and saying dark grey be it's a black. That it's a deliberate because and some now can because you need Ghana. So I'm going to take the issues, then I'll go into them one after the other. One can be about corruption. This government came to power on the back of corruption. Corruption was a major campaign issue. And what is politics? Is what you tell the people. So you must be held. So nothing on corruption. Nothing on unemployment. And I'll come to that. Nothing on Galamsey. I'm ready to put my presidency on the line. What happened to that promise? Nothing. Dead silent. Okay, basic education. Can be schools under trees. The numbers have gone up to over 5,000. I'm happy. Sir, can you imagine a country like Ghana?
Yeah.
And for me, when I see these things, I get so embarrassed and a sense of indignation. Yeah, particularly any opportunity to serve in government, it's an indictment on us.
It is.
Say, in this 21st century, look at the schools they are sitting in. And some children are sitting in classrooms with computers and everything. And, you know, how do you want to compete? And it's a
Japan,
global world.
In Korea, United States, Britain, all over the world.
No, can we say no? Put the other case of Malaysia, Singapore. Those are the two examples I like to, because at the time of independence, no, now GDP was so chill.
Yes.
Oh, so it's completely unacceptable. Free SHS. No, I bet Canada, and now the number of students here on one casa or call Wesley girls in his presence, the head girl and the headmistress, they told the true story. It's a mess. We'll come to that. Dumso. Hey, this president. Oh, and I make us say a alternative reality. Facts no or no better without looking at the facts with the view say or the confuse energy sector. Then o prezi no say who sika now de ekoto bonds no. Buying entua wo emre mature no. Says ena wo principal no so no omo pushi die was omo tua no or bought ne ho asafo hene or say oh I feel there for the first time omo timi tua bi emre wo tua no was that the time you were supposed to pay pensioners ubu anisika wa hihye bibia oyare ni nru obenom ne ade nyina no wa ba be fesika no emre wo se utua wontua and then who delay who took anim who to share anim then now you come and pay some now you are honestly you know economy one can want some or say almost save 10 trillion. I'll come to all those things. Digitalization no akeka and some bebre 80 agric planting for food and jobs. No abeka one can be about cocoa production because on himself cocoa your car about cocoa production then you no credit. You know, and I feel say then he doesn't drink alcohol. Mr. President, alcohol is illegal.
Yeah.
No alcohol. Enya bonnet. No alcohol. Enya bonnet. But
I don't try to go into the mind of the president and make a sense of what he was trying to push.
Whatever he's saying, you know, he is on record. WikiLeaks, actually, so or no president, no ganja. Ganja is illegal. Oh, illegal. Oh no, ganja.
Ganja near day.
Oui, Tampi.
Really?
Yeah. It's in WikiLeaks. US declassified US documents. And I'm sure you.
Yeah. And then on the refer say no we see kumo. Yeah, them say also no and someone carry. We are worried about the ganja because the way to see all can 7 NCC so no. We are worried. 81 Yamra corruption. Now to talk about the corruption no it is only proper say you be contextualizing so because na krumano and some no obi kind of sa tra keke so so we need proper verification
kind of. In the first place and I'm going to go into so various governments corruption issues since 1992. Jerry Rawlings, you see Abacha cash be on some. You see a ton access be and a wife and a Miss Cotton. Jerry Rawlings 3 issues. Okay. President Kufuor used state funds to renovate his private residence by our name Cocoa Farmer. Hotel Kufuor, Ghana at 50. Castle kickback. Privatization of Ghana Telecom. Also KT Hammond drill ship. Osafuma for German saloon loans.
All of the under former
President Kufuor and bribery scandal, missing diplomatic passport, because it's important. You see, I can't try for the gift. President John Dramani Mahama Sabi Onibi Kranimia Ibrahim. He said Ibrahim here. Me I knew Ibrahim long ago before I got into active politics. Me Shisha or London. No Jinani Naiso. And to President Mahama, here, just so be bribe with for the gifts. And And a bribe ben na wojia or J Ford no. Wa fa nkofi. Wa fa nkomani nia, wa fa nkomane bushani bia. Or you fan to pull him. And that Ford give eventually was being used by the NPP. Musa bribe.
But why don't you also think that, again, a journalist was pushing a particular agenda?
Oh, I'll come to that. But amount for an amount for said the absurdity of those charges. No, it's a Ford gift, a complete rubbish. No, complete nonsense. So we should throw it away into the dustbin. Victoria Hammer. Victoria Hammer then the just prayer. No dream. Minya $1 million beja. Politics heading. Me pack up and baby atra. President Mahama said no. I dream a war. Yes. Unya. Obit me a bibi. No yinedi. Look at the reaction. Okay. Bus branding. Fortunately, I was in the Flagstaff house that hot afternoon when my sister came. May her soul rest in peace. She was not the person directly involved in this, but because she was the minister in charge of the sector, she had to take responsibility. I was there when she signed the letter of resignation. Beyond that, there was a committee set up. The people paid back the money. Oh, yes, they paid back the money. So, what is it about bus branding? The president took action. President Mahama took action.
The money was paid back.
Yes, it was paid back. See the excess, honestly, it was supposed to be so. The committee recommended, and they paid that money back. I was working in the Flagstaff house, so I know. So, what is the problem? He took action. Brazil, I think, but yes. Basically, the whole issue, it was about player rebellion. Okay, players rebelled. We had a crisis on our hands. And a lot of things happened. Ghanaians were not happy. First of all, I took responsibility. Because you're calling a BBI year, I will get the praise, and then the country will also be happy. So Uncle and I took responsibility. I didn't run away from it. I said, look, it's even though there were issues that were not my fault. Yeah. But once you leave, you take responsibility. And then the president set up a commission. Now, a professor and a commission, which commission do you cover people in public?
Because you do
was it not live?
It was live.
Didn't you see?
We'll play some of the footage.
Live and colored. They were asking questions, throwing punches left, right, center.
I think at a point, Elvis was a bit emotional.
Yeah, I was. So and you would understand why. What I said? It was a public commission. Not just that, but I don't know what communication strategy informed that. You live in here, and you may yet hear news away prime time. You repeat.
And I say,
Anopa in the morning.
Live.
Me I say you repeat before the live session starts.
Which is not very consistent.
Me call bank be. Me call bank no. Me drew her now me train bank manager now for me you me live. So the people in the reception they didn't know whether to be watching the TV or be looking at me.
Really?
Yeah. What kind of communication strategy was that? Live they repeat at prime time. And you say it's a cover-up. Apart from that, forensic audit by an independent entity, Ernst & Young. We'll come to that. So, you know, Jida. Bro, you see, Ghana.
Jida Honsam,
But you see, what people do not know, they say, where did it all start? This thing was NYEP.
National
Youth Employment Program. When we went to when I went to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the first briefing, the first briefing, at the car, you know, some about 200 million Ghana cedis. So I wrote a report to cabinet. Said this is what is cabinet took a decision. So we should go into the Jida matter. But cabinet chaired by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. So as a minister, I wrote a memo to the Chief of Staff what we should do. An independent committee was set up. That committee, and a review. So ours was to review and restructure. So how can you come and meet a problem, you review and restructure. And now, what did we do in the review and restructure? First of all, now, and for at the proposals bar, a very unsolicited proposal. Okay. There were no guidelines. And the cost in the idea, you said no, going forward, no. There must no longer be unsolicited proposals. The GIDA must identify areas on person, no more putting in place structures and systems and mechanisms. And two person apply, you follow those. It was there. Two, the GIDA didn't have any source of funding. That's where a tax system was designed. There will be consistent financing for the project. Thirdly, companies are who say now you overpay or more and as you say processes and procedures no move through no. We stopped them and we surcharged them and they paid, they refunded the money.
Hey. Then Elvis, I'm to break the news. Ghanaians don't know this.
Yeah.
So would that not be said? As a journalist, I would say it comes on the back of lack of communication, effective communication to Ghanaians from the government.
Because don't forget, at that time, no. Now me, I may find when the issues were coming, yes, no. Me, I myself, I was going through my own crisis. Now the people who were doing that, they didn't think. You see, because they didn't realize it. And I'm not talking about the genuine commission and investigation, but those who were behind doing all this things. Because they didn't know.
This is information. The campaign.
Exactly.
2020 election. I know too much on this.
How can you accuse President Mahama of anything? You know, it was
the governing party NPP. Why wouldn't you prosecute Mahama on the basis of this?
You can't. There's nothing. He rather fixed it. I was the minister. He asked me to do it. We fixed the system. The report is there. When I'm coming tomorrow, I'll bring you the World Cup report. We'll look for the GIDA report. That GIDA report, find out from the Civil Society Coalition on Corruption what they think about that GIDA report. They say this is very good because we brought independent people, genuine, sincere. So these are facts there. GIDA, we investigated GIDA, made companies pay back money to the states, banned some of them. The records are there. You know, DKM, I don't even want to talk about it. Said and then
your president suffered under DKM.
And we all know
former President Mahama suffered under DKM.
And we all know today that it was complete fabrication. So me, I've dedicated myself. Say, I don't know almost me better every time say, as far as I'm alive, this campaign, whether post or no post, and everybody should hear this. If you're a former minister, former appointee, former DC, you have facts, your sector, things happen. Go and talk to Ghanaians. Let people know. Because in Toronto, like, why do we allow all these things to go on? You know? And when we come to other sectors, you will see near this corruption. You want to buff us with corruption? Are you for real? You know, then the Niyukumi Krane, opposite and Kokono, a friend say, I confirm to Burkina Faso. Do you know that thing was a complete fabrication? And the journalist who did that, he admitted, so he was just a slight comment.
But slight comments, but then one effective communication.
Oh, even last week, I'm here. Say confirm to Burkina Faso. I confirm between 12 years.
No, I want to into Enko Eza.
It was just a fabrication.
I've lived in the north. I know how.
You know, it was just a fabrication. You know, but saying confirm to Burkina saying, how is that possible? So we have said these were the issues under Jomama 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Say okay. Now. Nanado, who
I can figure say maybe about 100 plus. Yes, I have this report.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
PDS. Cocoa audit. Kroll Associates.
Now Mubusi can
just bro. You know,
Yes, we'll do this expose in the coming day because a door.
I was set with the two screen.
And the money that's involved, because I have this.
You have to roll it on the screen. What I say?
Yeah.
For people to see.
The huge money in it.
$12 million worth of fertilizer for planting for food jobs. IRA fertilizers, you know, took minister no say the 12 million Oslo Consular deal.
Yeah.
Sole source contract for blood distribution growth 12.5 million. 3.9 million to buy condoms. Even municipal assembly cry Sikaira 14 million blown by Ministry of Tourism capacity building. 2-bedroom resident renovated at 1 million cedis by Ghana Maritime Authority boss Kwame Usu. Then from there, they promoted him to become board chairman for GRA. Just you can go on and on and on and on. 600,000 liters of boss contaminated fuel. You know, what is this? What is this?
And many of them have not received any proper
GMPC buys $7.5 million property from CEO's former company, insider trading. You know, Forestry Commission. A chain you be who says, John, I mean, funny currency, assassinating in our William man. What was the brofuno you say? To me and my wine forever and ever.
Achimota Forest.
It's a disaster. It's a ufa baby. Just a millions, $89 million Kelly GVG contract. You know, Ghana loses 1 million in undervalue Metro bus sales. You know, Pius Ajit visa racketeering. Big scandal. And yet, even before they even bring the report, now president was saying, what I say, you can go on and on and on and on and on and on. It's all here. It is crazy. So far, the last count, it's about 102 scandals.
Yes.
So it's like 1 week, one scandal. 1 week, one scandal. By the time I'm scandal back home, because you know, another one. This government is the most corrupt government in the history of this country. We have to tell them. This government is the most corrupt government in the history of this country. If you want to know, Akufo-Addo said he was appointing a special prosecutor, right? Martin Amidu, no nonsense man, the mother serpent of corruption. So how can you talk about state of the corruption in the State of the Nation address? That is why this government must not stay one more day. They've stolen and stolen and stolen and stolen and stolen and stolen and stolen the plates that we're even eating. It's too much. It's like they don't care. You know, they don't have any conscience. You are stealing and also a giant account. Stealing with contempt. Come and steal and hide the poor. You are stealing and treating the country with arrogance. So this government must leave. They are a disaster. So that's on corruption. This is on corruption. Unemployment. At the time, I be fear them. Unemployment. One association. Now the level of unemployment according to Ghana Statistical Service was 8.6%. Today, the unemployment rate is 8.6%. Today, the unemployment rate is 14.7%. So look at the total population of Ghana. Now, over millions of the youth, they are unemployed. What is the president doing about unemployment? Because it's a security threat.
Yeah.
When Timmy and Kanwa, some state of the nation, the youth are the future of this country. So if you have a population where over 3 million of them are walking around unemployed.
Yeah.
What do you think?
A national security threat.
National security threat. And the president, you won't say anything about it because you know that you have failed. You don't have any NAPCO for why you start all those things or so that is another issue that we need to learn. Then Galam say, or see he will put his presidency on the line.
On the line, yeah.
What is the state of Galamsey? You see, Madam John Boyd was the party in Yeska. Galamsey men is now Kosono, and you be NPP party for, and no much the so-called community mining, and they are more, and no more here with impunity. And you see, the danger of the galamsey is this country has no future. Your water bodies need your ecosystem now. You want Nyankopon bo biodiversity or born sebeya ensure no ebe boama eniema efifi ne ade nyina say medically it's been proven say omo those serious na e man ne ko wo a enkwala ne e deformed and a kidney disease ne ade aye is on the ascendancy in all those places. So what I say. And the galamsey no ye major is also another national security issue.
Threats.
Professor Frank Pomboatimbe can say people in government and top people in the Flagstaff House are involved in the galamsey.
Hey, Prof. Babonte.
Oh, then because we know what is going on. We know what is going on in the various regions and districts. The various task forces. Now, a friend saying, excavators square to me to ya. Excavators, no to it's untenable. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. You look at the state of the drinking water. Yeah. And you want this government to continue to stay? How? No. The country needs a fresh start. So, you see, democracy was designed in such a manner, say, Oba 4 years. Okay, maybe people are not sure. Another 4 years. After 8 years, particularly with this performance, the country, no, on mind and spiritually, metaphysically, psychologically, politically, economically, socially, needs a change. We need that renewal, that a new president, John Dramani Mahama, will come with a new team. All Bano, onim say Ghana for Ewenidaso, Ewa Reshemu, Ewenimo. He also wants to, because he's been president before and he lost. So he also wants to prove to Ghanaians, say, me buy no, and near man, I'm a shasha, I'm one to Maseno. I feel the mayor pa mamon. So he's thinking of his legacy. So obey ye near ma, Sabe obit me making impacts. O free so no correct time and to be able to impact. No man, it's a disaster. So I mentioned the free SHS. Okay, and numbers of people. Your sister station, your colleague, Joy Afriyie, a documentary. The Minister of Education, the PRO.
Documentary name a letter to that effect.
Now, President Nankasoko Wegehi, there's head girl and the head mistress. Well, tell it, away and near my anymore near camp. You can't, hey, President Mahama can't review. I'm saying you're so betrayed. And then you see that the reality has caught up with that. IMF, World Bank, haven't they said that we should review? So if does it not show that President Mahama was forward thinking?
The chickens back.
I've come home to roost. Oh, giddy. And idea no, and yet akomapa say be a pagana year nom de to score political points. It's a no more ni biara. We shed the way and colony bread. If you listen to the interviews, and we know already, those of us who are friends, who are wards in schools, and colony yare no more yare. It's a mess. It's a disaster. Let's review this thing or review a couple of years ago and come by now. No, I mean there are people who can pay.
Parents can pay.
Those who can pay, let them pay. If even it's 30% to put that money, you can do something. Hey, you see where it has ended us. And you are endangering the lives of Nkolano. Oh, we have to vote out this government and have a reasonable government. Now, energy sector, Doomso. You know, this. Of
course, my guest, we've made about 41 minutes gone past the hour 9. My guest, Elvis Afriyie, is giving us the whole chronicle of events under the leadership of His Excellency Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. And many issues coming now. Currently, the recent soon and the State of the Nation address delivered by President. The President is giving punching angles to it. And now Elvis says no. The governing party NPP should not be allowed to, do a comeback. But here we hear the NPP say, at all costs. Break the eight, and they really want to break the eight.
Well, they want to break the country.
Breaking the eight, What would that break the eight? What will go into the break the eight? Yes, Elvis. This energy sector.
Energy sector now.
And Ramida Sumupa Miami feeling good.
You know, NDC for us here, sorry. I'm guilty of that. Sir, modesty in political communication, it doesn't bring results.
And bring results, yeah.
You see, if we were in a linear world, now to a linear audience, so too much.
Yeah.
But we're in a competitive world.
Yeah.
Your opponent so you have a duty and a responsibility to let the opponents know and let Ghanaians know the facts. Now, this is contributions to the energy sector in Ghana since independence. Government, number of years in office and percentage megawatts. Osajefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, 9 years. He contributed 25% to the energy sector in Ghana. J.J. Rawlings, 18 years. He contributed 17%. President Kufuor, 8 years. He contributed 2%. Okay, I said, Mills, 3.5 years. He contributed 12%. John Dramani Mahama, 4.5 years, he contributed 44%.
I want to understand this.
Akufo-Addo, 7 years, 0%. Mills and Mahama no, added 56% to our generation capacity. Ode Rawlings 17%, it means that NDC added 73% to our power generation. Akufo-Addo, none. So you see, and we must have confidence. These are facts, so I'll give it to you. These are facts. Osha Ghana since independence.
Yeah.
Energy, no power generation, no NDC has contributed 73%. President Mahama, 4.5 years, 44%. So how dare anybody come? And I heard Akufo-Addo talking. Then last, the former deputy minister, my own friend, Japamesa, or say,
what? Symptomatic. The energy sector.
What he was trying to say was that adding to the grid, is not important, and that they have managed the system better. They have managed the energy sector better because it was a financial matter.
Elvis, answer this question, and of course, I don't know how the NDC listen to this argument and will demystify it clear. Under the circumstances, the NDC introduced what you call the what do you call it? Pay or sort of take or pay.
Take or pay, yes.
That agreement.
Good.
And that agreement still has no space, no loop out. So whether we like it or not, under the presidency of Akufo-Addo, we are bound to pay this agreement to a take or pay agreement to it. However, there are excess power, we have no use for it. But the question remains now, Ghana need power and we have to use it and pay. Try to reconcile that of the contract signed by your government, and now we are being told that the excess power and still Ghana find herself in some form of darkness. What sense does it make?
Oh, sir. It's back to the point I was making. The argument they are making is that adding to the grid, was not important. Okay. So the simple question you ask is, Ghana, in Nkrumah time, what was our population? What was the demand for energy? So what I said.
Yeah.
Cumulatively over the years, has the demand for energy gone up?
Good.
And at the time that all these power plants were put in place, that installed demand and as a capacity, was it meeting the demand? Was the supply meeting the demand?
That's a very relevant
It's simple.
Yeah.
So what I say, because as the population grows, industry say, demand for energy will go up. You must expand your capacity.
Yeah.
The reason why Nigeria they are having problems is that they have not been adding to their grid.
Exactly.
Then President Mahama came in emergency. He had to find ways of getting us energy. And in the energy sector, you see, they pretend as if the energy sector it exists in a vacuum. In the why no on Fanisika, embassy plants, ACHA, at the high cost. Maintenance near the only any agreement or guarantee.
On paper.
In any case, no, this argument no more. In the energy sector, no, you were installed capacity. So what I say, and what the available capacity.
Yeah.
Installed capacity near the total capacity now. You installed. At any given time, no, you cannot be using all of it. There's something I'm offering a reserve margin. So what I say, it is a Kobani say any of these other plants, no, or your maintenance, and I say BB say, or a reserve where you can tap into.
Yeah.
That's why you have that capacity. And for anybody to say, yeah, energy, and now, okay, it is yeah, other normal buying at the same take or pay agreements, no, they are signing the same thing.
That is where I mean, yeah, understand.
People cannot think. The country was the president, Nankasani son and all Babaka, which is son and now before say you are in another country.
Because the Japan, who is a brother, also continues says I'm excess power no, but excess power no.
Why we haven't do so? Yeah, we haven't do so. They are shedding load. What they say. So a deliberate to obfuscate people, to confuse people. Said the Monte say, you need. We have provided 73%. And I believe that when we come back, we will do more because we're going to expand the economy, have more there are some types of industry they cannot come to this part of the world because the energy, is not even enough. So energy is the key. So what I say, energy is the key. Apart from the Atuabo gas is saving this country $300 million every year. Under which government? $300 million every year. Under which government? So as for energy sector there, they should stop talking about it.
But you see, I can say all this IPP, women suffer. Yeah, the independent power producers.
Now, when we were living, before we left office, what did we do? We knew we said there were debts, right? And you created what? ESLA. ESLA, they say, you tax now. Near the Akwakubusa account. So the
ESLA account was purposely for this.
Yes. We don't buy it. First of all, almost say ESLA useless.
The account where his is
ESLA useless. Then they came and increased the ESLA. Apart from increasing the ESLA, then they took the ESLA and used it as collateral to go and take a loan. Hey, that's this government for you. So when you sue ESLA, no, akwakoji loan. It is kebi abeba ESLA no bia no na ekọ.
Na sa loan is here the be den.
You should ask them. Am I in government? Yeah, no, look, me, if I don't believe in anything, I won't. This government, they don't deserve 1 second. 1 second. 7th January. Oh, yeah. No. And it's horrible and horrid. And Ghanaians, we are too indolent. Like, we are there, And especially my friends, middle class. When you meet me, Charlie, you people, we are looking up to you. We are also looking up to you. The same way, what are those demonstrations? Fix the wine. This is the time that you must all arise. Because see, there's no future for you, for all of us. Or minus no, this mess. Look, you're a pensioner, and that is the middle class, no? At top months.
And we all saw it this recent haircut.
Yeah. So what is going on? It was so sorry. What I say? Everybody must be involved. Ask yourself, so 3 or 2 or 4 or 5. The rate at which this country is going. Is there a future for them?
Is there a future for them, Elvis? Before making kind of message, zero down, tie this energy crisis issue and blah blah blah, and again with the hopes that when the NDC get chance back to power, the energy sector, we're going to have renewable energy and all of those things. Now, tie that to, and then give us a bit of understanding to that of former President John Mahama's enviable policy toward 24-hour economy.
Okay.
What is it about this? That there's a whole lot of narrative also coming against this.
Okay. I'll come to that quickly, but it's important before we do that. One of the major issues are digitalization. It's about we're joining for economy, digitalization. So what I say. Now, if we don't deal with that thing, it's important that we deal with those things. So, digitalization, a byproduct of something. What I say? Digitalization, free throw never. Answer na digitalization, bebano. There must be a platform, a basis. That's what I said. Now, what is the platform on the basis? The platform on the basis, no, the e-transform project. World Bank, President John Mahama. Don't forget, he was a minister.
I played a video just, I think, last week or so. Yeah.
First of all, no, John Mahama who said this is the future of Ghana. We did a 900-kilometer fiber optics network connecting 120 communities from Ho to Boku. And they've been so far Yendi to Tamale. So all that enclave in and you lay fiber optics. That becomes the basis for which you can do anything.
The BFM.
So that is the foundation. It is a new you cannot do anything. Apart from that, no, we did a 300-kilometer metro fiber optic network. Accra Tema. With free Wi-Fi and internet. Accra Tema enclave. So what I said. It's a normal Nabeya foundation and basis. Every other entity, company, schools near there. Apart from that, no, at a modern tier 3, 600 rack space data center is the best in West Africa. And there were 45 rack space backup OK and UST. It's the infrastructure and the Accra Digital Center. Apart from the various regional communication centers near my head office near there. So President Mahama laid a solid foundation. To what I said. Now Momoba will be up. Now more rebranded. To say Nansia Ayalolo ya Omoye.
When we say we know feed in the war China set up.
So
and I think there is some Chinese group will manage it government, you know. Now I think that the NDC suffered communication deficit against the backdrop of say President John Mahama the Rubonic course saying till said now these things are beginning to showcase itself to now illustrate what the former president did before he left.
Okay. Now back to your but open a 24-hour economy.
Yeah.
And I mean yes, I'm fatum because it's important.
Yes, I'm fatum.
Yes, quickly. Good. Good. Now, open so the performance of President Mahama.
Yeah.
Now the performance of NPP and the Abaumia. There are indicators. Now, sir, indicators no. It's a marking scheme. Globally, IMF, World Bank, Fitch, Standard & Poor's, Economic Intelligence Union, and they use it for all countries. It's in Ghana, specific to Ghana. It's a global marking scheme. They measure America, India, it is a your car, and is a marking scheme. So those indicators, it be a public debt. Assets are oil fields, public revenue, debt to GDP, exchange rates, interest rates, budget deficit, inflation, central bank financing, debt servicing, near the unemployment, any access to financial markets, debt per capita, and no credit rating. Now, President Mahama 2016, before he left office, what was the record? 2016, OSHA debt indicator near debt. You be free about 120 billion. So 120 billion air from independence.
I see.
Yes. And the CNT that so out of that, President Mahama net there was about 57 billion. And there are things to show for it, various sectors. It's CNT that a Canada Sububruja. And now I say this is even 2022 figures. So the debt now 600 billion. Times 5.
What do we have to show?
Thank you. What do we have to show for it? The debt now, President Mahama pension mostly 120 now. Today 600 billion. I feel near only one oil field, and near my age now, it was with one oil field, and then we invested a lot. By the time I went no more 2 oil fields, and the IMF and World Bank projectors said the economy in 2017-2018 will grow up to by 7%. because of some investments now, because what did NPP do in 2017 my economy? They didn't do anything. It's investments, any and the ma omunya asasa me pe no by the time they now started implementing their own policies and economy etete pansam almost 3 oil fields, they've raked in revenue more than any public revenue I rake here during our period was 240 billion Ghana cedis. Almost raking 830 billion.
Quite significant.
Taxes, bro. Taxes are almost the gun for so I have it all here, but let me move on to the name. Debt to GDP ratio no. I say a car would be no. Any usika pudu yesesia or how much chichimu saying yeah 56%. See a doso do say a debt to GDP ratio no 104%. Let's just say Gigi 2 nyina ni sika wo nyina just say sambo bosia 4% at the count answer ni etimiatua. It's a disaster. How can anybody in his right senses look at these two people and even begin to compare? I think exchange rate. In fact, in December, it was 3.9. But by January, now about 4.2. And no can bro say if the fundamentals of your economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Exchange rate and a koya could do 70% and 13 cities. So how can anybody in his right senses want these people to continue? When it's a disaster. Growth rate, average from Emrania was 3.6%. Almost average 3.1%. And no crano, we share industrial sector, and industrial sector is growing by minus 2.something%.
Too bad.
So how can the country grow? Interest rates, West 25%. Say Oko Bank interest rate almost 40%. You can't even get the money. Inflation, West. President Mahama was 15.4%. Almost at the end, Koya could do 54.10%. BOG financing, 2016, Mekai said, we cannot finance. Yes, a election. We President Mahama, so we will not finance anything from BOG. It's 2016 election year. We didn't borrow one dime from BOG. Almost. BOG almost printed 45 billion. That's why inflation. And according to World Bank, that singular act, over 800,000 people went into poverty. So what I say, debt servicing, near principal, near interest. So what I say, to the extent say you be free abemono, you're saying just $750 million into a sinking fund. Sebea President Kufuor Euro bond a mature near the year. We were paying our principal interest. Almost default. And even the dollar now, CD now, edu 13 CDs. Do you know say we are not paying our debts? It's been suspended. Domestic debts and our quiet haircut and our foreign debts in the be cries been suspended. Yeah, we will have to pay. It's just been suspended. So imagine what will happen to the city when we start paying. And no IMF, World Bank. So IMF for last, one of the experts said the CD is going to shoot up to 60-70% when we begin to pay those debts. Still, we President Mahama time we never did haircuts, never. So for bank, you see government securities are the safest. Obia now. When chia principal interest when chia interest now principal you've pushed it forward now now default unemployment time we had access to the Euro bond. See, it's been blocked. We don't have it. Debt per capita, it's been blocked because of too much borrowing. You can't have access to the Eurobond. I wouldn't say about development cannot go on. I think time no say okay per capita nipa ba could be a car there. Say check car na Ghana for Kenya na 30.1. Obia no obia the car 4,679
including unborn
onye say not the car. And then a car dear no. Ochicha Magana in India, the car 19,933. It will be at the cow. Obana, Obeshe, be careful because they cut almost 20,000. Credit rating,
folks.
Yeah, pencil. Yes, and B minus, and then pencil, and yes, you, and you NPP for pencil, and yes, you, and you, junk, useless. Now, 24-hour economy.
Yeah.
Almost no more.
Open financial freedom, mommy. And I'm about Wednesday. We deal with it because there's a reason why we have to stay a while longer on this 24-hour economy. The reason is because of I don't know, but on the governance side, communicators. I said, Ubia tries to miscommunicate. Maybe that's of what President Mahama has said so far. I have my understanding to all of that.
Don't worry.
I've done some extensive view on it, but Elvis, Elvis will deal with this on Wednesday. Yes. Wednesday a holiday, but then we'll have Elvis here in the studio. Until holiday, no, I had here. Now Wednesday, I'm going to make time for him. I'll even blog Ghana Speaks and then make all the time for Elvis. Then Friday, near Naso sports. Yet all saying, Kube saying. Is it true or not true? We'll be visuals be brave. And I'm going to show you a lot of neo PR Elvis has done in this part, including even showcasing events late Tamils and all of that. And Oshe Pechanoni and that say Masa Kwanwa politics. Papa. You see, sometimes Yema praise and call where is due. Nienya is someone deal. Messages are me pamocho door song. Dos mintimin canina, menya signal say me to me sorry so quickly. May I say meet me a kind Bakubi or say hi Kweku, good show. Honorable Elvis Afriyie is a statesman who has the country at heart. God bless you. Kofi Badin Gomwa Bonko Enodi Afri Ebae. My man was saying, bro, please ask that man Honorable Afriyie if he know all that he's saying and cry in the box of public accounts begging like blah blah blah. Or say too, NPP has given Ghana free SHS. What would they give Ghana when Ghanaians vote for them 2024? I am Dada Kwame Nungwano Di Free Ebae. We say, good evening, Sana. This is Owusu Apia, and I'm enjoying your show from Santa Maria. Please, your brother got nominated at Ghana Youth Excellence Award. Please vote for me. Blah blah. Okay. We say, great and educative program, Mr. Annan and Mr. Elvis Afriyie should realize the power of communication by Mark or the retire from Adebayo. Okay, he's taking notes of that. I think it's better it's better the seat remain empty than to vote again for this government. Like we did finish, this government is wicked. Seriously. Nanado, father of Galamsey from Dixon, Abo Koni Enodifri Ebae. Or say hi, Kweku Annan. Please, we love what you are doing. Keep it up, Dennis Annan from Odoko. I'm sure a brother from another mother. Hello, Mr. Kweku Annan. Please, we love what you are doing. Keep the fire burning. Something. Okay. When so come you say Vincent Odro watching you live from Nsawum. My honorable, my father Elvis has said it all. God bless you, honorable. Never lose hope. Okay. Folks, on Wednesday, as we come, same time your way with this venison frontline, Elvis Babetran will take another dimension. Hopefully, I'm sure, sir, Beko a bit into maybe Inca Cranka Cribby, hot, Obeyini Nano, Nanioma added Elvis. Quick 1 minute or less. Now, yeah, sorry, so as you tell the viewers something.
The way of mine. No, way of mine bar. You must know, sir, or minor is on the wrong path. And see, I was said, Obo Homode, now you be possible to ensure say you be to a byway. We will be you are sitting on the fence. I know, say, my future is the future of this country, which is at stake. Galamsey, corruption, the economy. The president, he doesn't seem to have a vision. They came to loot and make themselves, rich. They don't care about you. And see, also say, Utimine amount for Kasa. We NDC near. I said, yeah, so people are looking up to us. But be a Fabiano, who make you sure someone failure. And see, NDC, NDC, my trimuye. That's one problem. No, Cresse, say be akola or one man miem kra nim say aban we do mo faili. It's very clear. But no enye enough to get us the vote. Me ma analogy kakra bi. Which one do you prefer? Say yeah, ball match. You see, I say there are two analogies. The first one is see any NPP no. I say yeah, ball match. Now the other opponent no, yenya penalty. A goalkeeper no, or the 9 back or him or lempo on one leg. It's in here and say about penalty in the go. It's a no chese. It was say coach no or show more mutimi ball penalty no more ball penalty no. Say I'm shed na koye we ko bosha obenye din yes na akoye problem. The second analogy is say yeah ball match caps you need to cap. We have the opportunity say within 90 minutes no be shank with 3 goals because some a weak and useless team. Na say ye didi agro na say match no call extra time. Extra time no anything can happen. Na extra time so ye shey go na say calling penalties. Penalties also drew penalties anything can happen. The best player can play over the bar. Enti emra ye opportunity say be show mo 3 clear goals. Near winning trophy ni clear no. This is the opportunity I was say making sure say you winning a jumaden. Into your former minister, former DC, former appointee, what contest the election that say me when winning is not the end of the world. Get on board, get working. Man, try say our appointment be answer. Me appointment be me take you off. That's right. Me my chance here. I'm not waiting for anybody. Good. I'm going to go all out because this government must go. Enough.
This government must go, said by Honorable Elvis Afriyie. Folks, now we make a way for yet another program. My name still remains Kweku Anan, your investigative journalist. Same time, Wednesday, I'll come your way, Elvis. Ajipnes on nearby walking the path. Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday. Explosive. Into the Obayana said, call a friend to call a friend. On Wednesday, Elvis is bringing yet another angles to all the political dimensions. In a party, a war power party, so idea. It will be here. Folks, at the same time I come your way Wednesday, this has been the Frontline show all the way coming. CTV, Sunyane FM 88.1 Epic here, Western Region 99.1 FM Tadi, also Epic here, and then the social media. Wait me asking a program way back. Our CTV, you're online on air. My CTV GH, and I'm my personal page, the Frontline Ghana, Ubenyani Nebio na Washe. At the same time, Wednesday, I come your way. Have a good evening.